As Ukraine shows its potential for counter-offensive in Bakhmut, a lot of questions have been raised about Russia's true goals. It's day 444 of Russia's operation in Ukraine. Let's dive deeper. I want to discuss Bakhmut flanks in detail, so we will do that later in the video. So starting first from the city. Even though Wagners are stretched because of the situation in the flanks, they continue to make progress in the city. In northwestern part, after Wagners captured Olympic School area, they started pushing along Medvedev Street. As a result, they were successful in capturing this area. But one Russian source claims that Wagners wants to take Bakhmut as fast as possible because of the current situation at the flanks. So they launched a massive push along all these streets. As a result, they were able to take this huge area under their control. But I cannot confirm this with multiple sources, so take this with a grain of salt. If this is true, then it is a very massive advance given how the front line has been going since past weeks. Now moving to the Citadel area, as per report, Wagners continue to storm these high-rise buildings from the whole front line. Because of the recent push, they were successful in capturing the area on both sides of Levanivskogo Street. But the previous source which I mentioned earlier reported that Wagners after the recent push were successful in capturing this huge area. This is one of the massive advances reported in recent days. But I will have confirmation of this in next video. Keep in mind currently there is a fog of war situation in and around Bakhmut, so take everything with a grain of salt, as the front line is very fluid. Now moving to the northern flank of Bakhmut, Ukrainian forces continue their push on this flank. Russian sources say that they are using around 40 tanks. As per latest report, Ukrainian forces were able to take this massive land under their control. Both sides reported that regular Russian forces retreated to their next defensive lines. It is now clear that Russian forces have lost height advantage in this area, as they retreated to lower elevated areas. Now listen carefully. I do not know if Russian forces did this intentionally or not, but this retreat has now caused a bottleneck for Ukrainian forces. Let me explain. You see, Ukrainian forces are attacking along the railway line. It is exactly the same as Wagner's did back then. But currently, Russian forces retreated on the other side of the reservoir. Actually, there is a second reservoir located here. Now, as you can see, because of this, Ukrainian forces have become restricted in their movement. As they cannot go north because of the northern reservoir, they are forced to go around it, which divides their forces. Situation for the second reservoir is the same. They are forced to go around it, thus dividing their forces. And if they decide to go in between, then it will reduce their full potential. And guess what? As per latest report, they are stopped right here. This area is currently a gray zone. Of course, they can advance further, but the momentum they have can be broken here. Artillery has been working heavily here. But the main problem, according to Prigozhin, is that Russian forces are retreating without a fight. To believe him or not is up to you, but if that's true, then no amount of advantage can help them. If you remember, Ukrainian forces were using advantages like this to slow Wagners in their attacks. Now moving to the southern flank of Bakhmut, Ukrainians are also pushing heavily here from multiple directions. As per latest report, they managed to take these two areas under their control. But it is said that Wagners are currently attacking this area. But many sources say that this is very risky, as Ukrainian push from these two directions can leave them encircled. This is not a small gain, as many want you to believe. This area is located on a higher elevation, and Wagners have paid heavy price to capture it, and is a very tactically important area. If Russian forces lose this, then they might have serious problems. It is very important to withstand initial attacks, as they will massively affect morale of both sides. Subscribe for more frontline updates. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below.